I mean, I want to hear all about these trans tits, but maybe that's something we save for the after
Well, the tits
party.
aren't trans. The tits are gone.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
not
So
how you open a
the tits-
podcast.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Does anyone remember the Xbox 360? Because
I have fond memories of the Xbox 360.
I have fond memories as well. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but they're shutting down the Xbox 360 store.
Yes,
yeah.
I did.
So
know.
that means that the 360 games that I have bought to play on my Xbox Series X will no longer work?
No,
or just
they
if
will
I happen to have them on a... I was still playing them on an Xbox 360, they won't.
No, you'll still be able to even play them on your Xbox 360, still download them. You just won't be able to buy them anymore.
Okay.
Oh, all right. This is why that woman's Alan Wake copies are useless, right? Because the store's going away or something.
Yeah. Not the time to have bought 1,000
codes.
Unless you're a really weird collector.
But they've actually just started to put a lot of stuff on sale as sort of a last...
Okay. Now you're talking.
Stocking up on cheap shit.
You want to rattle off a couple of worthwhile titles
I've
that
got
you've picked
Rise
up?
of Tomb Raider, which I've already played.
Oh yeah,
but I've got the Xbox 360 version. Watch Dogs, they were all like $8.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play the Xbox 360 version now, except they're taking forever to download, ridiculously long.
You're going to play them in a different version to get more achievements. Let's be clear.
Yes.
The listeners who don't know that you do that might be confused as to why the fuck you would do that.
Yeah, I'm going to go play an older version because this is these games came out at the time of the Xbox Ones where they were still selling games on both. So
crossover.
And I also found out I own like the Wolf Among Us on there, and I've never played it.
Oh, okay.
I've played the Wolf Among Us a few times, but not the 360 version.
I was going to say. With the classic Telltale, I was very surprised that you hadn't played Wolf Among Us. So you're a big fan.
Yeah, no, I've played it on the Xbox One and the Windows version, because you get probably achievements. Now I'm going to get the
I've never played
Xbox
it on that particular console.
But since we have been talking, Rise of the Tomb Raider has been on 44% complete. It has not moved.
Please stop downloading things.
I was going to say, are we chewing up your bandwidth, are we?
No, this is just how fast it installs.
He's probably got good Canberra internet, solid Canberra.
The government needs good internet. We had good internet in Auburn eventually when we got the...
Didn't we just? Yeah.
We were one of the lucky people that got, what was it called? The NBN.
NBN.
Yeah.
That's what I have now.
Before they stopped that. They're not doing that anymore though, right?
No, they are. And
they are?
The house...
They are.
But it was the house, when we moved, it was a requirement. The house we moved into had to have fibre to the premise.
It was a requirement for you or just
for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if we're moving, my house has to have fibre to the premise, not fibre to the node. I have that
fibre into my
premises.
Jack's eye.
Back on this, like 44%. How big do you think the download is? The install of the game is Rise of the Tomb Raider
for a 360 game.
No more than 4 gig.
It's actually a little bit high. It's 6.2.
Okay, that's actually surprisingly large.
But
thanks, Dan.
We're still at 44.
I'm shocked, Matt, quite frankly.
Doing anything. Because I went last night, I set it up, and went, I'm going to play this, and then I sat there and I watched it, and then nothing happened, and it's just taking hours, and then the Xbox turned off. So
it's almost 8 years since I moved to America. It's fucking terrifying.
I was thinking recently about how long you've been there, and I realized that in my head you were always coming back, but you're like an actual American citizen at this point.
Yeah. Yep. No, I literally am, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have 3 citizenships, don't you?
I do, yeah.
You didn't have to renounce any?
No, I think
you can collect 3.
As far as I know, there's no issue with this. I'm not intentionally doing anything suspicious. I did tell somebody once this, and they were like, "Oh, maybe talk a bit quiet." And I was like, "No, it's not illegal."
Yeah.
If I've done anything wrong, I'll own up to it and renounce something. But no, I have British, Australian, and US, and I was able to do that because I got them in an order that no one cared.
Yeah.
Yes.
that I had the others.
Yes.
If I had gone the other way, like for example, if we wanted to move to England and Jenna wanted British, she would have to do something to
Yes.
America.
She'd have to give up something.
Give up American probably or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
does she have Australian citizenship as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So but she doesn't have British. She's just got the 2. You've got the 3.
Correct. Yeah.
Because I remember my wife was allowed to have dual citizenship in Malaysia and Australia until she was 18, and then she had to pick one because Malaysia don't allow an adult to have dual citizenship.
But in Malaysia also, they'll go, you get a house when you're 30 type of thing as well, which is, or something like that, don't they?
No, that's Singapore.
That's Singapore.
Malaysia, you've got to buy your own house if you want one.
Yep, sorry, got confused.
No, Singapore give you a house. Yeah, they give you a house as soon as you get married. As soon as you get engaged, they give you a house.
Yeah,
really.
If you want a house as
nice
a single
house?
person, you got to wait until they're all the same. All the same.
Oh, okay, sure. Do you get to pick where it is or anything, or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh no, you get to nominate, but if you start knocking back too many, they'll bump you down
they'll
the
say,
list.
"Fuck off, mate."
Yeah. But don't forget, Singapore is 14 kilometers across, right?
Yes. Right.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
there's not far away.
Sure.
Like, it's not like the difference between I'm going to live in Penrith and I'm going to live in like the North Shore or anything where it's like going to be hours to get anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only issue I could potentially have is if England isn't okay with this situation. But I'm not aware of any issues. I've been back there.
I thought you were going to say if England decide that they want the colony back.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
That would actually make things easier for you.
If things got really bad
anything.
and there was some kind of war, I could be in trouble. I have no idea what would happen in those circumstances.
No. You're fine because to your American patriots, you would just flash your American
passport
citizenship. But when the redcoats come, you'd be like, "No, one of you."
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
Right. Yep. God save the king.
Yeah. Do you guys see the His Majesty's portrait this week?
I did.
I haven't seen it.
I'm a big fan.
Heard that's been modded into Doom.
What hasn't?
I can see why. I can see it wouldn't take too much. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but the article I sort of glanced over said he looks like a computer game villain or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it also somebody pointed out that it's very similar to a Slayer album. And it's there's a few things that somebody's superimposed it instead of the painting in Ghostbusters 2.
I can see that now. I'm just looking at it.
We go.
I love it, and I think that the idea behind it was, you know how in the White House there's the portraits of all the presidents, and the one of Kennedy is really abstract. It's him kind of doing this, and it's like impressionism, and it's very cool. It's different to the photorealism of the other ones, and I think
he wanted something
that's
like that.
probably what Charles was going for.
Right.
But then he was like, "Nah, it's raining blood, mate. your rain of blood. Get it?"
But I'm also thinking that maybe he just wants somebody that's going to stand out because he's going to have a very short reign.
Yeah, comparatively.
I'm not threatening him.
Luke says sounds like a threat.
Yeah.
No, I just don't think it's not going to be as long as the Queen's.
No,
Wink.
It's certainly not. Yeah.
I gave her a nice, hefty chunk of time.
I have a feeling that his son's going to have a longer reign than him.
All right.
Actually, I'm still shocked that he.
I mean, that sounds like a reverse threat.
Yeah,
in a way, you know.
No, I honestly thought he was going to skip it and just go hand it over to his son.
Mate, he has wanted it fucking badly since the 80s. He's not going to give it up.
He's our king.
I mean, it wasn't even meant to be him. If, like, Charles V, I think, took over from the brother that abdicated, and that was the only reason that Lizzie became the queen. Like, we've skewed.
Do you remember that restaurant in Auburn, Impress? On the wall there, they've got that these photos of when Charles and Diana went to Auburn.
Yes.
And like,
yeah.
I don't know what just made me think of that.
I don't know what made them think of going to Auburn.
It's just adorable. It's in this restaurant. It's just, I guess presumably the owners or somebody related to the restaurant is in the photo.
If you owned a restaurant in the Western
and Princess
Sydney,
Diana was there.
Of all people. Yeah. When I was a kid, when I was like 5 years old, I thought Princess Diana was the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah,
like,
right.
To me, she was just, I mean, this is asexually. Like, I wasn't Princess Di.
Die, Princess Di.
Thought,
oh, no.
Oh, whoa. I've said too much. Smile for the camera. But I just thought she was stunning.
Yeah, right.
Well, I've got an update.
And then Camilla came along.
I have an
Back in the
update.
day, I'd have gone there.
We're 45% now.
Oh.
Oh, okay, we've gone up a percent. That's good.
Yeah.
A running tally for the audience.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
Matt-
it's good that it's not interfering
Matt,
with
I've
the
got to
show.
just segue for a sec because I've noticed a glowing Metroid behind you.
Yes.
And I told you last week that I was playing some old 16-bit era games to play through, and the one that I've chosen for this week is a Super Metroid for
One of my
the
favorite
Super
games.
Nintendo. Fuck, it's a good game, and what a great concept of there you go. I mean, such a novel. I mean, we take it for granted now, but a novel concept of having a limited play field. But you have to just keep going back and forth across the same areas.
Yep.
But with differences every time. New enemies. Okay, now I've got a power up I didn't have before, so now I can open different doors.
Unlock new areas and stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
I don't know how you're doing it though, because sometimes when I go back to play an old game, I forget how hard they actually were and how unforgiving they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I know what you mean, but I've gone back to Super Metro. I literally, it's plugged into my Super Nintendo right now. Like I play it. I pop it on all the time. It's a fucking great game.
It's so fun to just pick up and play as well. I mean, you don't even have
it just
to really
holds
focus.
up.
Yeah.
Like
it
they make
really
games that
does.
look and play like it now. That's how good it is.
Well,
Yes.
it's
Like, it's in
created
the
a whole
sweet
There's a
spot.
whole
game.
genre named after it. It was so good.
It's in the sweet
I was
spot
gonna play
of like
from
before
Metroid.
games started to look shitty in 3D. Like it's
Yes.
right in the sweet spot. It just looks great.
No,
plays
that's
great.
right.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, I heard a discussion recently about how games were made purposely hard for the purposes of the rental market because they didn't want people to rent a game and complete it and never rent it again.
Mm.
They wanted you to rent it, struggle with it, and decide, fuck it, I've got to buy this.
Right. Yeah, I watched a video talking about point-and-click adventure games because they're in particular probably my favorite genre.
Absolutely.
Followed closely by Metroidvania style games, but someone should smush them together. Maybe it should be us. Just saying.
Holy shit.
But point-and-click adventure games, some of the classic point-and-click adventure games have really shitty bits at the end. And generally, it's because they were trying to give the feel of difficulty as you went on. Because point-and-click adventure games, you solve puzzles, that kind of thing. It's very hard to like ramp up to like difficulty or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And even when it's a hard puzzle, that's made up of smaller puzzles, generally speaking. So what they would do is they would add really shitty stuff like a maze.
A maze,
right?
yeah.
Monkey Island
yeah.
2 has a bit of that.
Indiana Jones, Fate of Atlantis has a maze.
Absolutely. Yes. That bit where you got to go through those fucking tunnels before you get to the end.
It's fucking awful. It's fucking awful.
It's the worst bit in the game.
There's an
Broken Sword.
Introvision game called Broken Sword, Frankenstein Through the Eyes of the Monster.
Yeah.
Just suddenly, I'm in a fucking maze.
Just
slow down. Just don't get to the end too quick.
Exactly. Really shitty ways of making the ending feel,
still
but
far
this was
off.
also at a time where a lot of people weren't finishing games.
I suppose.
You know what? Another one that's not a maze though, but is similar. Police Quest, the first one.
Yeah.
3/4 into the game,
Forget the
you've got
microphone.
to win it. You've got to win it. Well, that too, but you've got to win it 20 hands of poker.
Oh, that's true.
You've got to play in real time.
And have remembered the microphone before that.
Yeah, and have remembered the microphone. Yeah, because when you get upstairs, if you don't have that, they'll let you play and lose.
But no, I do think some of the reason why the games didn't have the strongest endings was because I remember reading a statistic that it was something like less than like 20% of people that actually completed games back then.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you look at completions today, like because it's easier to get those stats now when you look at like trophies and achievements and stuff. It's not like everyone who starts a game finishes it. So I think that's why they sometimes don't have
I generally finish a game these days, but only because I play one game at a time. Back in the my Amiga days, I had say 100 games.
Yep.
I probably finished 5 of them.
Yeah. But the premise of this video was, and in all the comments and like this person asked online a bunch of places about adventure games and stuff and was saying like, what's some stuff you hate about the final puzzles and stuff in adventure games? And it was like mazes, fucking timed bullshit at the end to try and stress you out, that kind of stuff. Like, and it just seems to me, I mean, it sounds like Nobody likes that stuff. Everybody just wants make the story good, and when it ends like a book kind of thing. Like
yeah.
You know. Yeah. So,
but also, I guess with point and click adventures specifically, the more work you do up front, the easier the ending technically is, because you've found all of the items that now work. You can start just unlocking everything.
Yes. See, one thing
they don't want it to.
One thing this guy mentioned that I thought was really clever, and I assume this is what Ron Gilbert was doing in Monkey Island 2. It does have the maze stuff to kind of prolong this, but what you're doing at the end of Monkey Island 2, throughout the beginning of the game, you're building a voodoo doll, right?
Yes.
You got to collect all these components. And that's what a large portion of the early game is. At the end, you're doing the same thing, right? But under different circumstances, and so it's kind of this payoff that almost would have been nicer without all the maze dumb shit. And so, like, maybe something like that is a good way to end one of those games, which is give the player something to do where they go, oh, I know what this is, and make them feel smart, and then you get to the end.
I think there's a maze in Colonel's Behest too, Matt. Just from memory, I think
Probably a hedge maze.
You go into the crypt behind the church, and I think you end up in a maze.
They've all got them. It's a shame.
Oh, I was just thinking, King's Quest, fucking Minotaur maze.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, I make a promise. If I ever do make a game, it's not going to have a maze in it.
No maze. No.
I promise I will put 2 in.
Yeah, look at the playtest. I'm just going to get
through the maze.
Constant tickets. No maze. Still no maze. I've not gotten lost once.
Yep, get ready for it. I want a maze. I know I want 2 mazes. They don't need to be hard.
Right.
I need 2 in there now.
Speaking of games, we've got some news. There was a bunch of leaks right before this that got me excited, and I thought this isn't going to be good. And then the trailer came out.
Matt.
Then the trailer came out, and I was like, "Fucking hell, it's what I wanted."
And I also love it when the leaks come from the company themselves.
It's Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's set in Japan.
Yeah,
I almost wish I didn't know this was an Assassin's Creed game while I was watching the trailer, because I would have just thought this was
here's the thing. I think they're getting to the point where Assassin's Creed doesn't need to have the Assassin. It's just a brand, and then yes, they are throwing the Animus. Animus. They're still throwing that in, but it's not the driving factor.
It doesn't show up a whole lot in Valhalla.
Yeah, it certainly does. It doesn't show up much in Odyssey either.
No, you pop out from time to time. Origins, you popped out more than those last two I mentioned.
But I think it's still there in the background, so they can still sort Assassin's Creed, which has the marketing value. But then here's a new game. But
also, I mean, there's a play type to it as well that it just kind of signals to you that if you like the other games, especially the newer ones, then you will likely like this.
I do
this
like it.
This looks fucking beautiful. And if they just keep doing this, if they just keep going, same game, different historical periods, I'm all in forever.
Because here's the thing, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think still is a fantastic looking game. Looks and plays fantastic. That was like on the cusp of generation change.
Yes.
Like if the videos that we saw in this trailer represent gameplay in any way, like fucking hell, like it's going to be amazing,
beautiful, isn't it?
And we don't have long to wait.
There's just something about that samurai period that is just so evocative. And we didn't get to
honestly,
play
I swear on this
Tsushima
podcast we've
because
said I want to play one in Japan or something.
We have 100%.
I think we've said China,
and
or
they
Japan.
did a China one, but they did it with the side scroller.
Which
versions
I didn't mind those side scrollers.
They were fun. No, I bought the China one.
I'm really looking forward to this, and it's coming in October.
Yeah, later this year.
Yeah.
They've done what you like, which is they've just kept quiet.
They've just said, we made this game. Yeah. It's coming out soon.
People are mad about this, though. Can you guess why?
Of course they are. Yeah, I can guess why.
Yeah.
I can't.
I didn't even think of it.
I did.
It was just funny, right? Because I like Japan. I know a bit about, what's not feudal Japan. It's what would you call this period?
It's late feudal Japan.
This is when it's all falling apart, feudal era. Basically. There's guns, so it's all at the end of it all.
It's the early modern period where they started to open up to the world and they wanted to be like Britain and America.
They got fucked. Yeah. And there's I guess he's a black samurai.
Yeah, historically accurate. That is real. If you Google Black Samurai, yeah, 100%.
So I didn't even think of it, but that's fine. But apparently that annoys people.
I only thought of it, and it certainly didn't annoy me. Fuck, but I only thought of it because I was like, okay, finally, there's a game set in Japan, but they still worry people don't want to play an Asian person in a game. Is that it? Is that what I'm assuming?
I think you can play as the girl or the guy. Yeah,
that's the impression I get. Like Odyssey.
Yeah.
No, I get it as people they're upset because they think they're trying to force in a narrative and they're trying to be woke by having this instead of
now you've said that too. Why aren't they mad about the woman? Because, I mean, she wouldn't have been doing any of that stuff in real life.
Well, that's the thing.
Less likely than the black man.
Why can't I play as a white man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to play as a woman anyway.
Wait.
So
this looks so good. I might play as the woman as well. Just
because I don't give a shit.
I'd like to look at her for 10 hours.
That's that's how I play all games.
Yeah.
Even first person. For the characters, woman.
That's why I play them in second person.
I don't know. I don't think about it that much beforehand. There's something about because in Valhalla you could switch between the two. And for some reason, Eivor as a man just clicked for some reason. Nothing in particular. But when I played Odyssey, I mean, you didn't get to change, but I played as Cassandra, and it's like I can't imagine not playing it as her.
Here's the thing: when you play as
like she's canonically
Alexios,
yeah.
Well, so it's canonical when you play as him too.
No, but I mean in my head.
Of the story. Yeah, sure. I wish I had played as her. Actually,
Alexios seems like a cock. Let's be honest.
He is a cock, but he's also a raving homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I couldn't go anywhere without groups of men trying to fuck me successfully. They passed me around like a spliff.
It's funny because it's almost like I feel like when I was going around as Cassandra, I was like, oh well, fuck you now. Let's go, mate. Yeah. It was like the opposite.
Yeah, but the only female I fucked was an elderly woman, right? I had to do a quest because her husband was like running away from her because he's I can't keep up.
She had such a high libido.
We're going to get an email from someone from Ubisoft saying, you can fuck whoever you want. I know what Dan's up to in that game.
Yeah, that's right. No, but I fucked that elderly woman and then...
It's actually AI. It just knows what you like.
That's right. You've got to go out of your way to fuck a man, Dan. No, to be clear, I didn't fuck the men. They fucked me. Every bathhouse I went into, they were like, Alexios, welcome back.
Why did you keep going back?
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Fucking great games. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Apparently, they said it's the same size as Origins, which is good. I liked the scale of that. Odyssey was fucking huge.
Odyssey was too big.
Yeah. I am looking forward to this.
Origins was also huge, but...
Assassin's Creed Mirage was such a letdown.
That was very small. It was one city.
Very small.
Well, I mean, it was meant to be DLC.
Actually, you know what? Now you've said that, I bet that's why they've mentioned this specifically. It's because people didn't like that.
Think it's another
but
half-y game.
It was always going to be smaller. Because it even came into...
it was going to be DLC.
It was a cheaper price point for it. So you got what you paid for with that.
Where is it set? Marrakesh or somewhere, right? Or
Baghdad.
Middle East? Baghdad. Yep. Cool. That's more in line with the original game, right?
But it was very much. It was DLC. There wasn't really.
I should play that.
Yeah, I thought it looked good, but I mean, I thought it looked good, but I heard so many things about it. I was like,
it just didn't grab me. It wasn't like I'd prefer to go back and play Valhalla.
I started playing something on... I never finished Valhalla, and I wanted to do the DLC because I want to do the Druid stuff, all the Celtic stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
Which looks awesome.
Go to Ireland.
Luke, have you got True Achievements? Can you tell what I was playing this week? Because I played a game and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I can find out for you.
But I thought it looked very good, but I'll tell you the premise of it, and you tell me if this reminds you of anything.
Okay.
Okay, so the premise of this game is... you find yourself, it's set in a kind of alternative 1910s, 1920s era. So everything is very Art Deco, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're on a submerged city, right? Submerged Art Deco city run by this kind of gifted megalomaniac who has
Right.
encouraged artists and scientists to leave the real world and come here.
I want to say that I know what this game is, but I think I'm wrong.
Hold on. Let me continue. There was an incident aboard this place
Right.
on New Year's Eve at a New Year's Eve party where everyone was at a masquerade ball.
Fuck
right?
off. Yeah.
Right?
Unless
Luke,
this is... Yeah, okay.
It's not BioShock.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I figured.
Luke, what's the name of this fucking game?
You didn't get any achievements in it.
I have. I've gotten at least 2 achievements.
Well, it hasn't updated.
Oh, fuck.
But
Okay, I'm going to have to...
I think I know what it is. 'Cause
Shio Bok.
there's no guns in it, is there?
No, it's no guns
Yes,
and
I
or
know the game.
injectables.
I know the game.
It's called Close to the Sun.
Yes, that's it.
Huh.
And it's very good,
Yes.
except
It's BioShock.
it's BioShock.
Yes.
Like, it's like, I Googled this. I'm like, is this an unofficial sequel or something? Because I was already thinking this is like BioShock, but then I started seeing the people in the masks, and I was like, no.
Huh.
It's so blatantly close.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's on Game Pass if you want to check
It is on Game Pass, yes.
The number one people also ask on Google, is Close to the Sun like BioShock?
Yes, it
yes,
is.
it is.
Even the
Yes.
logo. You kidding me? All right.
The design, everything about it. But you're right with the Gatsby pattern around it.
And
And
they're
everything.
not trying to hide it. They're not trying to... They do compare it.
Yeah, I mean,
even-
fair enough.
They do advertise it as comparing it to BioShock.
Do they? Yeah.
Or I remember...
I clicked on it because it looked like BioShock, and I like BioShock.
Well, that's what they wanted you to do.
And
Presumably.
this
It's
is a
more of a
game-
maze game, though. You're kind of just exploration more than combat. There's
And
been no
this is a-
combat.
This is a game I actually just played through without a guide because I didn't...
Oh, you played this?
I finished the game, like
Right.
I didn't get all the collectibles or anything. I just
Sure.
played the game, and it was actually it's like what 3-4 hours to complete the entire game.
Is it?
Okay.
Okay.
That's a-
Well, that's good to know.
It's like a little one, little baby.
Yeah,
one.
so it's something you can just throw on play, and
While you're doing
in
the
fact,
ironing.
one of the achievements is to escape in less than 3 hours, and I did that.
Oh, okay.
So you
yeah,
can finish the game in less than 3 hours.
Just
Well, is that
hold
if you-
down,
if
the,
you don't-
hold down the Xbox button, turn off console. I've escaped.
Yeah. don't disembark from the ship. Just don't ever get on the Helios.
Yeah. Done. Ooh, 47%.
Very good.
Okay.
One more minor point about Assassin's Creed Shadows that I spotted and I thought was interesting is that it will launch on Mac same day as PC. Not very common these days.
No,
No,
not
it
might
at all.
be-
But will you play it on Mac or will you play it on?
No,
Xbox?
I won't. But I just thought it was interesting, and it might be. So I know that Apple's been trying to lure in game developers because it's just never been a gaming platform. But they've been trying all this stuff to make it easier and more attractive, and they've got a whole bunch of tools for the new Apple Silicon that are supposed to make it easier to port stuff. And so maybe this is a sign that that's successful.
Luke just magicked a cat out of thin air.
It's pulled it out. Yeah, pulled it out of nowhere.
That green screen does some terrific things to your reality.
No hands.
Luke, I did play more Control this week as well.
It's
because I really want to. Yeah,
Once
look,
it
it's clicked a
clicks,
bit
it does.
more. I had to go back, and actually, thankfully, the game itself does this. I had to go back and read the summary of all of the quests I'd already completed to remind myself what the actual storyline even was and what I was meant to do. And once I kind of got that back in my head,
the problem is now
I
if
don't
you
now.
if you really want to enjoy it, that's the game you need to play now.
yeah,
Because you
it
can't
probably will be. Look, I
drop
love
it
the
off.
environment. I love the music. I love the. It's just something about it is difficult to motivate.
Yeah, it's a good game, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like Alan Wake's a bit like that, to be honest.
Yes, Alan Wake is very much like that. Alan Wake 2, they've learned from
Yes.
both of those games.
And I think with Control 2, we're going to see the same thing, that it's going to be not on the rails as such, but not as you just work
Alan
out.
Wake 2 was a really good way of essentially being on rails and never feeling like it was, because you had the choice of always being able to swap characters, do any part of the story in any order, but there was really only one way to do everything.
Yes. Because the way I did play it was I did sort of do chapter for chapter, switching back between characters, but you could just play one character to the end, switch back, and just play.
I did it chapter for chapter too, and I think the plus side of that is you play as Alan, and it's very like symbolic and ethereal, you know, and because he's in the dark place, so nothing's real, and then you get tired of that, and you want to play some real world stuff, and so you switch over to her, and then you're like, I just want more musical numbers and weird shit, and so then you switch back over to Alan. So
I still love that musical.
So good.
Actually, I'm gonna listen to that. I listen to that song every now and again. I just enjoy it.
Yeah, I popped it on in the car a lot when I was listening to it. The actual soundtrack's available now too. This week.
I might have to listen to that. Matt, once you play it, you're gonna love it.
I will. Look, another game that we all stopped playing is Starfield.
Yes.
However,
well, Luke,
I finished it, and I might be going back to it now.
There's a big update's just come out. I don't think this one has the cart in it. The dune buggy. I think that's coming in a DLC.
That's coming. This does have one
improved
big thing,
maps.
The one big thing, which one of our listeners, Nate, has already played and said this is how it should have been at the start.
Oh, really?
Is 60 frames per second.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's.
I wasn't sure honestly, that was going to hold me back until I played it, and then I was like, "Oh, I can't play this."
It threw me for a spin the first sort of half an hour to an hour of the game, and then I just got used to it. But I should have to get used to that.
There's a lot of stuff in this update.
It's a free update, right? I don't have to buy this again. Yeah, it's not a remaster.
The DLC, I think, is coming out later this year.
I've still got to do all the space battles and stuff, though. They haven't made a way that I can skip all that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Shattered
Space battles are actually pretty easy, though. And
I didn't mind them, but yeah, if you didn't like them, I can see how it'd be annoying.
It's just I was in the middle of doing something. Go here and do this. Okay, no, stop for a bit and fight these guys. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
That's why I like open world games, is because I can choose how I play each time I log on. Like with Fallout, sometimes I didn't want to encounter anyone. I just wanted to go and fight animals in the wilderness. Sometimes I just wanted to raid houses. And sometimes I wanted to play along the story.
Speaking of Fallout, I'm up to the last episode. And
okay.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but it's also...
I watched one more, and I'm still not sure.
It is a bit weird. I'll say this. There's some bits... I was thinking back on it, and there's still some bits where I was just like, why was that in there?
I just find it a bit boring, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
Like, the parts I'm finding interesting is the secondary story, which is the younger brother trying to find out sort of what's happening in Vault 23.
That is the most interesting part of it, for sure.
But it's probably the least amount of the show is around that.
It's like an episode of Lost smushed in with the rest of it, like where it's like, what is going on?
Like
that sounds interesting, because I haven't encountered a whole lot of that yet.
Okay.
He's done his little speak up at the meeting, and everyone's like,
well, it's like it's good because I won't spoil anything, but all the vaults have something funny going on because because when they didn't mention this at the start of the show, but it's not normal for them to be grouped together like how they are in the show. They do the trades or whatever. When I said that, I was like,
it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Because remember when I started the triangle vault thing, and I'm what the
fuck is that about?
Vault? Like, and then
I just assumed that anything I thought was weird was just because I was used to the games and this wasn't the game.
No, it's oh
man, I want to keep watching, but honestly, I find it very slow. I find this kind of the same as The Walking Dead, whereas the premise is great and the characters are good, but just like, speed it the fuck up.
I might have already said this, but the characters I feel like are all like odd in a way that makes them very hard to like.
Yeah, agree.
Like I find them like, when I'm liking them, like, like the Brotherhood guy, I'm like, oh, I like him. And then he does something and I'm like, I don't know if I do like him. He's weird. He's too weird.
I don't know if he's Because sometimes you think, oh, he's just like trying to do things that's right, and then he just let someone die.
Yeah, they just do but they all do odd things like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna watch it, and I'll probably watch the second season because it's not bad, but it's also one thing that's I think getting to me is the special effects are pretty mediocre.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I assume that's a style choice, though, right? They've got the money. I assume they made it cartoony on purpose. I mean, I've not seen a lot of special effects.
That mutated axolotl,
Maya Lurk or whatever that, it came out.
But no, I'm more though, like in the last episode, there was like when the vault door to Vault 31 was opening. It just looked not great, and the ghoul's nose.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah,
it's not great.
It's hard to remove things. It's easier to add things.
Yeah, I've seen the makeup. It's just he's got a little green dot on his nose.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I understand how it is, but they could have spent a bit more time on that, I think, for a main character.
Or just had that he has a nose.
Yeah.
Like, just like,
sure.
you don't need to remove the nose.
Are there ghouls with noses? Probably.
Oh, who cares?
I do like that fucking weird doctor guy who pops up, though. Such an odd character. There's some good weird characters.
There is some good. I love that dog meat's in there.
Not my dog.
Yeah, I think it's popular, so maybe they'll get more money.
It's very popular. They've already greenlit the second season.
Yeah.
I've also heard this week they've greenlit the second season of Shogun, which is good. 2 and 3,
apparently.
Yeah. But the funny thing is the showrunner has said, we're going to do a second season somehow. So I guess they wrap it up pretty tightly at the end of this season, thinking that it was only going to be a one-off like the original is.
And then they've thrown more money at them. And they haven't even started to show this yet, have they? Is that
just.
Yeah, it's a shame when that happens.
And it's keep going with this, though. But that's why I love the, the Bly Manor and all of that stuff.
Yeah, just one-off.
They done. Just one-off.
Yeah.
And then it's like, do another one, make it awesome.
Oh, do you know what's coming back? The Terror.
Yes.
I mean, so it could be good, could be not good, because they're completely independent.
First season and the second season were very, very different in tone.
I liked them both.
But they were both good. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the third one
I'll watch
will
that. Oh, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
What wasn't good? You know what wasn't good is the 4th season of True Detective.
Oh, yeah.
Which is unsurprising because the second and third.
Is that the newer one with Jodie Foster that everyone was talking about? Yeah.
They tried to bring it back and make it just like the first season.
You can't capture stuff like that.
The first season
this is one they should have just
landed for me.
The first season?
Yeah.
See, that's the only one that landed for me.
I liked it, and I just didn't.
I haven't seen any of them, and it's not for me.
Yeah. I like it.
I just assume.
It's 2 things I liked about it quite a lot. They're attached to the
and they both Alexander Daddario. Yeah. Well, they showed him off a lot, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Woody Harrelson sure liked them.
Yeah,
sacrificed his whole family to get a good little grip on.
He was like, I don't think I want to do this show, and they're like, this is Alexander, and he was like, where's the contract?
Yeah.
Now I want to watch Baywatch again.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I watched it. It was okay. It was far better than it had any right to be.
It was stupid, but it was fun.
Yeah.
You know what?
It was not what I thought it was going to be. That's for
sure.
I watched an old Tom Arnold movie this week called The Stupids.
The Stupids. I've heard of that.
It is. It popped into my head as being something that I found kind of irreverently funny when I was about 18 or 19, and I looked it up. I thought, okay, I'll give this a watch. It's still just as dumb and just as funny as it always was. So it's about this family called the Stupids, who are so stupid that they think that they've stumbled upon a secret government conspiracy, but they haven't. What they have done is accidentally stumbled upon a different secret government conspiracy.
Right. Nice.
All right.
As a movie, you've just reminded me of this that I've got to find now. It's called Real Men.
Yes.
And I think it stars George Carlin.
It's got
Does it have George Carlin in it? Oh, no, it's
it's
not.
got,
It's Belushi.
Yeah, Belushi and that
John Ritter.
other comedian, John Ritter, who
might be who
was
I'm
great,
thinking of.
who passed away. Real Men is great. There's one of them's an alien, right?
I don't remember. All I remember is there's a scene I loved when I was a kid where he goes into make the gun and he gets a drill and he sticky tapes a box of Band-Aids on the bottom and puts a bunch of nails in it, and then suddenly it's like firing nails.
It's a machine gun.
Yeah.
A womanizing CIA agent and an insecure insurance agent are paired together to make sure a deal goes through with aliens for the future of mankind.
Yeah, okay. I need to watch this movie again now.
Yeah. John Ritter made great movies. Remember that one, Stay Tuned, where him and his family got sucked into the TV and they were on all different TV shows? And at one point they were in Wayne's World. Oh, man.
He was in
early
Buffy.
90s comedy. Yes, he was, yeah.
He was a robot. Spoilers.
What was that movie that John Ritter was in where he's wearing the glow-in-the-dark condom and the lights are off and you just see the condom, you just see the dick glowing. But then her husband comes in.
Yes.
Yeah, her husband comes in and he's got a red one on. And then you just see the dicks fight like lightsabers in the dark.
Oh, I remember that scene. I don't remember the movie, though.
I can't remember what it was called either. Unless that was Real Men.
Maybe.
I'm looking, nothing's jumping out. But no, I do remember that scene from something.
Yeah. Speaking of movies,
Yes.
There's a movie coming out either next year or later this year called Superman. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Superman Legacy. Or did they just rename it?
By a guy named James Gunn.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, I think he's made one or two good films. Announced the suit, Superman suit, this week. Thought it looked cool. Internet doesn't seem to agree. They're disappointed.
Too armory or something? Too much?
But also, people are criticizing, it's a shot of him pulling on the boots, right? And everyone's like, oh, it's very emasculating seeing him put on the boots like that. And
how's he meant to put on the boots?
What the fuck?
He should have Lois do it, should he? What?
I don't understand the internet anymore. I'm too old now. I don't understand what everyone's going on about.
This article is the guy saying it should be simpler. I mean,
come on.
Okay.
You just want it to be tights again, like Christopher Reeve, do you?
Yeah. Yes. I want to see a skin-tight man in a suit, man in a skin-tight suit, but I don't want to have to say that that's what I want to see. And you're making me say it. And I hate you for making me say it, James Gunn.
Yeah.
Look, it's a shame. I'm not looking forward to this movie because Superman does nothing for me.
I love Superman. He's my favorite.
He can be good.
But he hasn't been done well.
I used to think he was too overpowered because in the context of the other heroes like Batman and stuff, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
he's better when he's on his own.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
when
he's got a villain.
He's silly when he's Justice League.
Matched to him. But I feel like even in Zack Snyder's movies when Superman's doing stuff and they have to give Batman something to do, it's just like just go have a nap, Bruce.
Yeah, that's right. Superman's here. You can go
with the Superman movie. Are they sort of doing it's a soft reboot, isn't it? Of the
it's got nothing to do with it.
As far as I know, it's a complete reboot.
Because they're still going to have like Margot Robbie.
I don't know if that's confirmed, to be honest. I think he has said some people are sticking around, but he's also said
Peacemaker's still in it because there's making a second
but they
season.
might never
No, I don't know if Peacemaker's in it or if they're just continuing Peacemaker
in the universe.
Well, I don't know if that's true
but they
either.
might not consider it a universe. I think
right,
is what I'm saying. Yeah,
I don't know if that's confirmed.
That's where it's starting to get very confusing.
He's just not going to cancel his own show.
You know what does have a really continuous universe is the Superman TV properties.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Superman and Lois that's on now ties directly into tons of other stuff that we haven't watched.
But yeah, this is why it's all very confusing with the DC sort of there's universes, and you don't really know what's
Well, the
with
comics
what.
were like that, though. The comics were also very...
Yeah, we've
you
talked
could
about
follow
this.
specific
They'd always
threads.
make such a mess, and they'd be like, "Oh, we'll start again."
We'll start. Which you have to. It's
You know what I heard that's disappointing unless they do it well? I've heard that the next season of Stranger Things resets the timeline with
What do
some
you mean?
time travel or something. And I really hope they
I'm
don't
hoping
do
they've
that.
just misunderstood and they're just getting confused with the fact that it's going to be set further modern future because everyone's grown up and it's going to be like what it was meant to be. Like it was meant to go from the 80s to the 90s.
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping it's just that because time travel will not help that show.
Yes. Well, the article that I read seemed to think that they were resetting it so that they could essentially soft reboot and keep going and do something else or tread the same ground in a different... I don't know.
I read something the other day. Someone was talking about how season 4 was really bad, and I was like, was it?
What? No, season 4 was my
favorite season.
I was say, next to the first one.
I thought it got pretty good. Yeah.
I would say 1 and 4 are equal for me, then 3 and then 2.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. But look, I really think they're just confused. And
2 was only half bad. Half the story, 11 story-line in 2 was bad. But
that's the one where she goes and joins the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Stuff with Billy in that with X-Men.
Yeah.
But no, I really think that article you read, I think they're just trying to create story out of nothing because they've said season 5 is the end. They've said that there's going to be like a time jump, and that's partly due to everyone's age, and you can't really say they're back here.
Yes.
And even originally, they were meant to jump forward in the future, but everyone loved the kids so much.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
They brought them back. So I think they're just trying to make a story out of nothing.
Well, so am I.
I'm looking forward to season 5, though. I'm looking forward to it.
It's called creative writing.
I will absolutely watch it. Something else I've been watching this week on the old television is Clarkson's Farm season 3.
Yeah. I haven't started that, but I did
just finished it last night. And
good shit.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, like, there was, like, even, like, farmers, even in Australia, going, like, this show is good because it's really puts a spotlight on what we go through a little bit.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. I know it's probably somewhat performative because he has gotten himself into a lot of trouble, over the years saying stuff. And they go to a lot of effort to show a more, I guess, loving side to him, with the animals and the tribulations on the farm, that kind of stuff. Because, he's very like, he's like seen as a kind of right-wing figure. But when you watch this, I don't get that sense from him. Like he seems very sensible. You know what I mean? He has very good reasons for all of his opinions. So it's interesting. I wonder how much of that is like intentional, to, I don't know, combat some of the bad press he's gotten over time,
Yeah,
but
they spend a lot of time
about a specific minority group at one stage, or am I remembering?
Well,
if
you go, they hit I think Top Gear was on for how many fucking years? And yeah, they did. They used to make a whole bunch of. Like, I went back and I started watching the first. It's hard to know when the first is because I think he joined Top Gear at some point when it was already a TV show. But the reboot that was him, Hammond, and then some other guy, and then they brought James May in like a season later.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of like, it's from like the 90s, so it's all like that car's gay, this and blah blah blah. It's just all like they've said tons of stuff, and him in particular. So more recently, he said something about. It was a Game of Thrones reference about, was it Meghan Markle or somebody? Or it was some royal adjacent, lady. Something about she should be dragged naked through the street while people throw rotten fruit at her or something. And he said he meant it as like a Game of Thrones joke.
Not
literally she should be dragged naked through the street. And then, And then he did apologize, but I think that's the most recent thing he said. Maybe not.
I think
he wrote that. Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying Clarkson's Farm, he's great. It's interesting. He's very relatable. And I wonder if some of that is intentional to kind of
Well, I'm glad
say,
you
no,
like it
look, I'm
because
not a fuckwit.
there's not going to be any more Grand Tour, is there? Like,
There's one more
that we
There's
haven't
one
seen
more.
yet. Yeah, they filmed it
Okay.
already.
Yep.
yes,
But there's one more. But I think there's the Clarkson Farms. I think that's going to continue because
he's going to continue doing it.
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good show.
I got to say, right, he's got money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no matter what if he's really doing all that stuff, unless it's performative, like he must like doing that.
Sure.
Because fuck that for a day's work.
He does. At one stage, he sort of sits down and goes like, I'm starting to enjoy this. And like they say, it's like farming's a way of life. And I'm starting to prefer this.
Rough,
Like,
man.
I'm meant to go to London next week. I'm trying to think of excuses so I can just stay here and just do this. Like it's
got to stay up all night with the fucking animals when they're having when they're all whatever animal is having babies this fucking time of year, and like it's just
you guys know Sam Neill has a farm, right?
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill lives on a farm in New
That
Zealand.
doesn't surprise me. I bet he's interesting.
He
raising dinosaurs.
He says if you ask him what he does for a living, he will say farmer, and on his if he's at the airport, he'll write farmer. He says if you ask him if he's an actor, he says he sometimes does movies for fun, but that his profession is farmer.
He says if you ask me, I'll say I'm a farmer, and if you ask me, if you say you thought he was an actor, and I say no, I'm a farmer. Here, check it out. You know, kick you in the balls and say there's a couple of acres.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He makes wine, but it's really expensive here. I think in New Zealand it might be less expensive, but
I don't get wine.
Wine's
can't
good.
drink it.
Some
it's a good thing I can't drink wine.
Luke, I think you will find that your taste in wine is probably similar to your taste in beer, in that there's far too many of them to just blanketly say you like wine. But there probably are one or two that if you discovered, okay, what is this one? I like this one.
But that would be a bad thing because you can buy. Imagine I find a bottle of wine that I like, and it's one of those ones that you can get for $3.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't have to drink it.
Yeah.
You can just have a glass
that
occasionally
wine,
every now and again.
I don't think is likely to be. I guess I don't know what your palate's like, but
I like the cheapest beer you can get.
The wine I drink mostly is about $12 a bottle.
Mm-hmm. And what is that? Is that an American wine or?
It's a Pothic. I don't know if that's available in Australia. It is cheap. Okay. In fact, we've had people go, Pothic. And I'm like, fuck off, I like it.
Fuck off then. Yeah, get out of my house.
Don't
care. You don't have to have any. You can drink the wine that you brought with you.
More
you
for
didn't
me.
bring any?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So, Matt, you're still watching Friends, or you've finished Friends now?
I have watched all of Friends.
Oh, because last week we had the one episode to go.
I have watched it.
Did you cry?
Does Perry have the last line? Because I just read his book and he mentions having the last line. He apparently says to the writers, I care and no one else cares, so please let me be the one who says the last line.
Oh,
that might
Evidently,
be true.
They all walk out and he's the last in there and he says something like, goodbye, house, or something.
Yeah.
And I think he turns the light off, which is a cliche.
I mean, that fits. So, yeah, that could be true. I don't recall. Yeah.
And I can...
Did I... You asked if I cried? I did not cry. I did enjoy the Ross Rachel nonsense in the last episode. You know, with them going to the wrong airport and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. It's a little bit different to the usual.
Oh, sure. So I'm in the last season of Seinfeld now.
Oh, yeah.
I think I mentioned the last two seasons are not written by Larry David, right? So Larry David did the first 7, and then 8 and 9 he'd left, and Seinfeld was the sole showrunner, and he basically just said to the writers, do what you want. So it's much more like a regular sitcom than the previous. Like, the thing about Seinfeld is it never played out like a sitcom. Like, it wasn't predictable like a sitcom. It was but these last 2 seasons are fucking weird. Like, weird shit happens. I just watched one where Kramer started shaving with butter instead of shaving cream because he wasn't getting a smooth enough shave with shaving cream, right?
Okay.
But then he started realizing that butter felt good all over his body, right? So he started just buttering himself up. And then he goes up onto the roof to do some sunbathing, falls asleep, and he cooks in butter.
Oh, yes.
And Newman wants to eat him. and Newman is going crazy because he wants to literally cannibalize Kramer, and he can't be in the same room with him because he just keeps getting hungry and having to, I'm sorry, Kramer, I can't, I've got to go. And it's just so bizarre. It's so fucking bizarre.
I found out the last line in Friends.
Go.
So Jennifer Aniston asks, did I want to go and get some coffee? And Chandler asks, sure, where?
Cute.
Which is sort of nice. Like,
because they always go to the same place.
Same place. So, yeah, like, where are we going to go this time? Because Gunther is still trying to hit on me.
Oh. Well, he's dead now in real life, so.
Really professed his love to her in that episode.
You can watch the reunion now. No.
Yes, we haven't watched that yet. So I haven't watched all of Friends, but...
Because I watched the reunion without having watched Friends for 10 years or so it kind of felt very disconnected. But I'd like to watch it again now that I've watched it.
One thing I found, we talked about this when we were watching them, because there are a bunch of clip episodes, which I know is a kind of a normal thing that shows do, but it was very jarring because I've just watched this.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, well, no, this show was on for fucking what, 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, people watched this stuff 7 years ago, whereas I watched it, a month ago.
Last week. Yeah.
Right. So, and then there's like the second last episode is literally just a clip show.
Oh,
that's all it is. It's like here's all of Friends in clips, and I was just like, I've just done this.
Seinfeld's second to last episode too. Is that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we skipped it.
Yeah, of course. I skip all of those. I used to hate those in The Simpsons too when they used to do them.
Yeah, because it's two things about it. Is it's like I've just watched this, and then second, don't tell me what I found funny. I know what I found funny.
And also, hey, an episode with no storyline. Great.
Yes.
So I watched this, I've got Friends going on in the background sometimes, and we just watched the season with Tom Selleck.
Yes.
But I learned something about Tom Selleck this week that I thought was excellent. Did you read this article? So 1 year, the network that was producing Magnum PI didn't give any of the staff a Christmas bonus, right? And so Tom Selleck, who was being paid handsomely for the show because it was riding on his shoulders, gave every single member of the crew $1,000 from his own pocket for Christmas.
That is so nice.
How nice is that?
What a champ.
Yeah.
But it's also weird because it's a very American thing, the whole bonus, isn't it?
His new memoir, you never know. I have to read this now.
I know, right?
He talks about Indiana Jones in it.
I fucking hope he does. See, here's the thing too, because I'm like you, Matt. I used to hate Tom Selleck because I knew he almost was Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And I was, and not because I had anything against him personally, but I was like, Indiana Jones cannot have a mustache.
Yeah. He could have ruined
that mustache. Would have ruined everything.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But I almost wish they'd. I mean, you can watch his audition tape, but I almost wish they filmed a variant of it so I could just watch it now as a bizarro world.
The whole movie.
I'd love to see a whole movie of him doing Indiana Jones.
Like those clips of Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what is that?
There's a video on YouTube that points out every single time any part of Eric Stoltz is still in the movie. So there's like over-the-shoulder stuff. And, because they have filmed almost all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost all of it.
And they were like,
Spielberg watched the dailies once and was like, he's not funny. Yeah. But yeah, over the shoulder, his nose is just on the edge of frame when it's like focused in on Biff or
ginger nose.
Yeah, that's right. Man, he must be. I mean, I know they paid him for the film, but I mean, Michael J. Fox became a mega star after that movie, and Eric Stoltz became.
I mean, I like Stoltz in
Michael J. Fox,
stuff,
dude.
Yeah, but
he was a household name.
He was, but
he already was when he was in it, though, right?
Yeah, but
didn't you do Family Ties already?
Yeah,
Same time.
Yeah, okay.
What did he do after that?
No, but that wasn't the fault of his fame. He just did a lot of shit movies.
Like he did.
It's like the Mark Hamill curse, very, very famous for one role.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, that sort of shot him, but he didn't go anywhere with it. That was just
well, 2 more Back to the Futures, which were also excellent.
Yeah.
But I mean, certainly not a versatile. And when he did The Frighteners, I was like, that was novel. You know, like, oh, they've dug him up, so to
Stoltz
speak. In that he's
was
the
in,
one, not Ghost.
The Prophecy. Great movie.
Yes. Walken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie, and not a bad Super Nintendo game, actually.
Is that true?
Better than it
I'll
has
have to
any
check
right
that
to
out.
be. Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to have to read Tom Selleck's memoir.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh,
Is it read by him on Audible? That'd be great.
Oh.
Fucking Garth
I'd be
Marenghi
very
book out
surprised if it would be.
I know.
He
You don't
called up
think you can read?
execs at Universal and said, issue $1,000 checks to every member of the Magnum company in both Hawaii and LA.
Narrated by Tom Selleck.
Oh,
12
okay.
hours. This better not be one of those ones where it says narrated by Tom Selleck, and he's like, "Hi, it's my memoir," and it's someone else is like,
Yeah. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yes,
Yeah.
Pre-order.
Oh, okay. Do it.
You
want to.
never know.
Is Garth Marenghi the other one out yet? Here,
Yeah.
Incarcerat.
Oh, Incarcerat.
Oh, there's
It
also
is out
Sam
here now.
one.
It wasn't before.
Oh, sure. I haven't finished that. I only listened to the first because it's anthology. I only listened to the first story in it.
All right, pre-order that,
Where-
and I'm also getting the Sam Neill one as well.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
Did I ever tell you this?
Yeah.
No?
I bought that Sam Neill book almost exclusively to hear about the James Bond stuff when he was almost Bond.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In Living, was it Living
You can
Daylights
watch
he always-
his audition. Or was the audition, or was it just like a demo? kind
Yeah,
of
it's
thing?
his screen test, I think.
Yeah, right. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, well, I think we're about ready to nearly finish up and head over to the after party. But before we go, we need to remind everyone we're having our Ask Us Anything episode. Is it Ask Me
that's true.
Anything?
You can
Soon?
call whatever you want, mate.
Ask Luke anything you want, and the other
Yes.
guys if you want as well.
Yeah.
It's a
We've
long
got lots
name.
of questions. We've got lots of questions, but I want more because I really
You
want
still
to make
got
a big
time to
thing
get
of
your.
it.
That's what I'm saying. You still got
Yeah.
time to get your questions in.
Podcast at multiplenerdgasm.com. Email them in. Comment on this episode wherever the fuck you're listening or watching this. Go to patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm. If you want to hear the episode, you will have to be a member, a paid member of that. It's only for our patrons.
And there's no $1 a month, and you can listen. I
Yeah,
hope.
and ask
I'm not lying on
anything.
that.
And I'm probably going to regret this, but if you ask anything, any question, we will answer it in this episode.
You may
We're
not like the
away.
answer.
We're not turning away any
To
questions.
the best of our knowledge.
right. At worst, I'll read the question and then we can all decline to answer if it's something really bad.
No,
But
I will answer.
I will read
I
the
will
question.
answer.
What question would all three of us decline to
That's what I'm
answer?
saying. I can't think of any. That's why I said I'll probably regret this because I just haven't thought of it yet.
Mm.
I'm more worried about Dan asking questions now.
Where are the bodies
Yeah.
buried, boys?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so send your questions in. Ask us anything. We've gotten some good ones. So all sorts of topics: booze, movies,
Friendship.
I'm
sport.
good at both of those things. I'm good at sport.
Podcasting.
Yeah, podcasting questions. Yeah, we've got all sorts
You're
of
good
stuff.
at watching sport. I'll give you that.
I used to be good at sport. I was nearly going to be a South Sydney Rabbitoh. I was picked on their sort of youth thing before I got cancer.
Not black enough.
Yeah.
Oh, cancer. Right.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.